like basically all I'm thinking about today is I gotta put Sheikh Amr on blast. So I don't know if we want to wait for some more listeners to show up.
No, we're not going to wait for anyone to show up. Get it out of your system.
We got a few listeners already.
Get it out of your system now.
All right, so, okay. So a week ago, right, I happened to be in the city, and I had to meet up with our good friend Ubaydullah Evans.
Yes.
Right, your classmate, former classmate at Azhar, right? So we're chatting, and I'm not going to tell you how we got to this topic, but we're walking in his neighborhood, and he's like, hey, Maheen, have you heard of Habeeb Akande? And I was like, I thought he's like Habeeb Omar's like brother or something from Yemen, one of those, one of the Habaib or something. Like, no, who's that? He's like, man, you need to know. He's like Habeeb Akande, you know.
I know Habeeb Akande. You know Habeeb Akande? Sheikh Amr knows Habeeb Akande.
You know?
I know him because of his books.
So he's like, Maheen, you ever heard of Kunyaza? I was like, no, what's that? He told me this was a legend of a slave who, like, for some reason, the queen or something wanted to have sex with the slave, and the slave was so nervous he would he was like
wait, hold on, guys. If you have kids around,
your kids,
this is a good time to.
Yeah, he was like,
Viewer discretion advised. Omar Ali, God bless you. I mean, I got so many emails from mad parents.
All right, yeah. Okay. You have enough seconds. You have enough time for the kids to leave. Okay.
Put your kids away.
Put your kids away. So, like, and he was like so delicate. He was like shaking his thing, like, and it was like coming in and out, and eventually, somehow or another, this like queen ended up climaxing, and it became a science. So he tells me, he's like, yeah, man, you need to get this book. Man, I don't know what it is, but it works. That's how Ubayd would say it, right? I'm telling you, man, you need to get it. And
wait, what's the actual technique, though?
I don't know, and the book hasn't come in the mail yet. There's a
But Ubaydullah knows the technique.
Yeah, he was kind of explaining it to me.
You could call him and ask him.
It's
live call-in.
It's in the book. We can do a review of Kunyaza when the book comes in. Inshallah.
That's the name of the book, Kunyaza.
Kunyaza, yeah.
I know his other book called Honey.
The Sweetness of Honey, yeah. That just came in the mail yesterday for me. So I got to cop. That's first, and then but the other one has like a longer lead time, so I think I'll get it next week.
What's that Sweetness of Honey?
This blast is going to be on you now. I'm going to wait for you to finish.
Okay, so anyways.
He thinks he had me.
So anyways, I'm just like, so I'm like, wait a second. So Ubayd's talking about this Habeeb Akande guy, and that's why I asked you in the group. I'm like, yo, do you know this guy? He's like, yeah, he's my roommate in Egypt. I'm like, wait a second. Mm-hmm. So now, I got to find out from Ubaydullah Evans, this dude exists. I could have enhanced my marriage like years ago, but you've been holding out.
I told you guys about him 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He remembers, and you guys made fun of me.
No. I didn't make fun of him. I invited him.
You kind of.
No, I invited him.
He did. Him and Mort did.
Was it Mort?
You and Mort.
I never heard of this. Maybe you're right. Okay,
because I remember that name when you asked me, because I invited him. I emailed him and stuff. And
after maybe I told you about it.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was like, I had 2 questions right away. I was like, Amr, why didn't you tell me about this dude?
I did 3 years ago.
Right. Secondly, why isn't he how come he hasn't been on the podcast yet?
Like 4 years ago.
Right. This is another. I was like, this is another example of Amr Saeed dropping the ball and not using his connections to get us guests.
But I don't know if you remember, I told you about him, and you said you were going to reach out to him. This is like 4 years ago.
Do you got proof of this?
Yes.
Yeah, text or something?
Nah, bro, I had like...
How would I reach out to him?
I don't know. You said you know some people
Do a search your text history for Akande.
It wasn't time. We talked in person.
In person?
But I told you, I gave you a link to his...
I might have been drunk.
And also, I know my cousin Bilal, and Bilal went and met him, and they did like a book opening in UK, and I told you about all of that. But anyways, it's all good.
Are you sure you didn't mistake me for Mort?
No.
Sim was there. All right, I'll take Sim's witness. He's jaded.
I'm not going to say what Mort said.
I'm going to say it, too.
He's a jaded and a Sayyid.
He's a jaded Sayyid. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But anyways, so yeah, dude, that'd be a pretty cool,
Yeah. So, okay, so then that was like, I was like, man. And then,
So let's go back to Ibn Joseph. He said, I advise them that importance is only placed upon inner excellence rather than beauty of outer form. I wrote this book for them. This is a scholar, Ibn Joseph. I wrote this book for them to mention the great virtue of many from among Ethiopian and black people. And this is a bridge translation of his book by Habeeb Akande, may Allah preserve him, who is an incredible scholar, and he's written a number of books about black history in Islam, and I would say he's actually one of the leading Muslims definitely on social media, talking about sexuality in Islam. Right. Which is another topic we don't talk about in the masjid. Right. About romance in Islam. And just like there's several books about blacks in Islam, written by some of our greatest scholars, I noticed I got some people's attention. Right? Some people were nodding off, looking at their watches. Now I see a lot of eyes open. Right? We have many scholars that have written about romance and love and sexuality, healthy, halal sexuality in the Quran, in the Sunnah, in poetry, right? Imam al-Suti was one of them, right? So, alhamdulillah. So Habeeb Akande has kind of made that his thing right now, right? He and Sister Angelica Lindsay Ali, may Allah preserve them. I couldn't do that, right? I couldn't do that. But if you're interested, just look him up. He has a book called Taste of Honey. You have that? You need to get it. You owe it to your wife to have that book. Serious. Taste of Honey. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he used to say about a man and his wife, a man who got married to his wife, he's not yet tasted her usayn, right? Her usayn, right? Meaning her sweetness. Honey and asl. He didn't ask me, I don't know if he even asked me to push his books or anything. But it's important, so.
No perde.